Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Zero Time Dilemma. Last time we did which memory? This memory, and that memory fragment was fairly disappointing in that it's a memory fragment that's been referenced in flashbacks and other memory fragments, or flashes to other timelines and other memory fragments, but didn't really reveal or do anything, so that feels odd. So we want to go with Q Team now and do this memory because this memory was unlocked later. And then we may straight up have to just do two memories in a row. No, I think we're kind of still on track otherwise. But yep, it does feel very weird to get back into a memory fragment that has an escape room puzzle and has some cutscenes, but then the cutscenes just don't matter. Now this one's called Radical 6, so this must be the point where they start talking about Radical 6 as being an element in this story.
Nope, it won't even budge.
It's still all three of the characters alive.
Formaldehyde solution with
a pig.
It's okay, Mira. I'm right here with you.
We're in the biolab, right?
So there's a bunch of biological research here.
Jeez, this place
So
is
this
really
might be the
creepy.
point where
Why is something like this
Mira,
in a
the
bomb
Heart
shelter?
Ripper,
Maybe
shows
the
off her
builders thought
skills.
to be prepared for some kind of pandemic.
Pandemic?
An infectious disease that hits on a global scale.
you
It's
know,
like a sudden deadly virus outbreak.
it would
Maybe
make
this
a little
place
bit
is
more
an
sense
isolated location for
if
researching all
she
kinds
had
of
like a
viruses
tattoo
that.
on her chest
Oh,
with a broken
Okay.
heart.
Or maybe
And then
Zero
you could
put it
show off
here
the
in order to
cleavage
do something to us.
For that reason, and
Like what?
storyline reason, it would make sense.
Like maybe taking
But then the
ingredients
Japanese
and cooking all of us a nice meal.
just do not get
But
tattoos.
isn't it?
Japanese pretty much hate
It's
everybody
too
with
early for
tattoos, and the
dinner?
only
It's
people in
been
Japan that
4.5
get
hours
tattoos
since we
are
fell asleep in the lounge.
Yakuza,
4.5 hours.
they assume
They knocked
if
us
you
out
have
for
a
quite
tattoo,
while.
even like a butterfly tattoo on your butt
not
cheek,
necessarily.
they assume you're a
We
Yakuza
could have woken up
person.
a bunch of times during all that, but if Zero erased our memories,
Of course, we wouldn't remember.
But then Mira
No.
isn't confirmed as being Japanese. I
What's this?
don't think they said she was Japanese at all.
slash the pig's stomach.
As an
Whoa,
old looking
for
computer
real?
screen.
Would that mean that we...
Probably.
Why? Why do we have to do something like that?
I have no idea, but it's not like we really have a choice, do we?
There's no way to leave. We're just gonna have to do what he said.
This whole story probably would be more interesting if it straight up started with just the idea and the obsession about finding who the Heart Ripper is, and then finding clues to say the Heart Ripper has a tattoo or something like that. This is an odd angle. I'm just spinning with the right stick and it's like moving up and down this C-shaped track and zooming in and zooming out in a very odd way. Right. We got a sink. We've got a bunch of stuff. Set the dial A to mix the liquid. Set the dial B to separate the liquid. That's must be manual for the centrifuge. Okay. We'll use that later, I'm sure. And this is kind of a great example of there just being a lot of things here that visually stand out enough that you might want to click on them, turning it almost into a hidden object game. But none of that really was necessary. We now have a piece of the DNA model, which will probably turn into a handle. green and pink liquids. Right. We don't have a knife though yet, so we need to slash that. We have no idea on that. All the other ones are smashed in and broken. This is the door, which distinctly looks different than all the other doors, and noticeably does not have like an X over it. Got a bunch of glowing stuff that I don't think we should interact with. We have what looks like a microwave. Now we've got green liquid and pink liquid. Okay. We have another computer that might turn on. Some drawers. There's a plug. Okay. What are we supposed to be doing over here? Remove 4 screws. Are we supposed to use this to remove the screws? Yes. And that's how you do a screwdriver puzzle. More. There's probably a solution on the back of this. Like, more than just having the player actually. Okay. Just having the player actually find a screwdriver, do a screwdriver. So it can separate and mix. Separating the liquids results in different colors. One thing is clear after inspecting the separated liquids. On the microscope, the cell structure is unique for each color. So, can we just stick this here and separate them out? Yeah, I think that's the idea here, is that we're going to separate the colors out first, then we're going to mix 2 or 3 of the colors back together. Which that's all good and well, but what color are we even aiming for? That's the part that we don't understand. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. Seems like if you just did this, you would fill everything up. Yep. There's no way you're gonna brute force that. Let's look over here. And they just make all the other specimens glowing so they don't have to actually animate that. Just look around. Up and down, up and down. Maybe we're supposed to put the cover of the centrifuge on this. Wheels are locked. How do you unlock the wheels? Yeah, cutting the pig in half. Easier said than done. Just everything in this room seems to have wheels locked. UV irradiator. Let's try the cover of the centrifuge in that. Okay. It says orange something that looks like blue, BLUE, and then white. Orange, blue, white, yeah. All mixed together. So if we take the red liquid and try and put it under this, okay, seems like what we'll need to do is just mix them maybe here. Orange, blue, white. Well, you don't get orange unless you combine this and this. Right. Red. Right, nope. We're not gonna do it there either. We're gonna do it over here. Just turning around in circles. The thing that's slowing things down by far is the fact that we are having to go around in circles so often. Right, so we now have orange, blue, and white. Which this is a clean bench. This is a clean bench. Where are the specimens? Where are we supposed to put the orange? Little petri dishes. Apparently we don't have the lens for this microscope yet. Like, we've done everything we needed to do. I think we've done everything we needed to do. But we need that. We don't have a knife unless this can act as a knife. So there is something just visually I've missed. That is that one step that needs to take place. I need to find the power cord. So do we need to get the power cord from the computer back over here? And I will try putting this here. I'm trying as hard as possible to burn through this as quickly as possible. That's not what I meant to do. We've already clicked on like everything there is to click on here. Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't feel like this is just a fairly large waste of time compared to the actual cutscenes and the actual story in the game trying to solve this. If you did this room fairly early, you probably would be a lot more open towards the idea of wasting some time and doing some puzzle stuff. But if you're like me and you've done most of the interactions and you're just trying to get that last experience, just want to finish the story, or at least make a decent amount of progress towards finishing the story. Does the UV radiator have a plug? Just look at the floor and see if maybe we missed something there. Look at the ceiling and see if we missed something here. Look slightly high up. See if we maybe missed something there. Okay. So it seemingly is the case that we have accomplished our goals. This won't combine with that. It's kind of odd you can combine other objects but not combine the liquids. Orange, blue, white. So it doesn't seem like we can do anything here. It doesn't seem like we can do anything here. Doesn't seem like there's anything to do here. Doesn't seem like there's anything to do here. And I know I'm not really reading the dialogue here in the story, but it's not really doing us any favors with any hints. It says slash the pig's stomach. We don't have anything sharp. Ah. So yeah, incredibly frustrating there. I have to say that was incredibly frustrating to just look in a sink for a knife and have that extra area. Like, ideally you would want to be able to just turn around and go full circle without also moving and look at the room. You'd also want to be able to spin around the room a lot faster than that. So we now have Fanatic Bio R. The incubation period for this virus is extremely short. Mortality rate is 100%. Symptoms include blood erupting from the body, then death. Well, you now have the microscope lens. You now have the power cord. See, even the creators of the game realize that they've gone too far, because they wouldn't be giving you 3 different things for solving one puzzle if the puzzle was easier. Alright, well. Go over here and add this lens. And then, let's see if we can use this to look at the crystalline structure. Okay. So we're seeing green blobs in orange. Too fuzzy to see. Let's try blue now. Blue blobs. Blues are always in 2s. Interesting. White blobs. Also, and white are by themselves. White is alone. Then, let's see. Orange is green and blue. Or maybe we need to separate the orange out. Because yeah, that seems like that is the solution to the cabinet door puzzle. Look how incredibly unround that is. Power turned on. Looks like it's in standby. Mode, the cover over there opened up. What could that be? We need to insert something in the hole. Also need to figure out if they can do anything with the pig to cut it. So the cover over here opened up, but we don't have an object that works with that. So what I think we do is we come back here, we unspin these. They designed this puzzle, I think, in a way so that you would have to unspin things and spin things back, or just play a little bit better. Alright. So, red's in groups of 3s. yellow is in a group of 5. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We come back in here. Will that be reset? Yes, it will. So we kind of need to look at all of these in a row so I remember. Yellow 5. Red 3. White 1. Blue 2. Nobody is a 4. I don't remember it. It's either white 1 or red 1. I'm gonna go with the red 1 and then no, I think it's white 1 and then red 4. No. And I guess with blue 2 we can make a note. Memo. But if we do make a note, it is going to be by just erasing this page. Let's see. Blue 2. White 1. Yellow 5. Alright, this is getting grindy, to say the least. I'm losing energy, certainly. Let's go with 3 red. Yeah, this room and this puzzle room has sucked energy right out of me. I know I've been doing multiple recordings today, but 1 white, 2 blue. Let's start with that. But yeah, I really was hoping to just get 5 yellow, 3 red. I was hoping to just get cutscenes and finish the story at that point. I was hoping that we wouldn't potentially see many more cutscene escape to room sections, or if we did see escape the room sections, it would be, I would think that they would have been fairly easy. The puzzles with Q Team have been fairly easy up until this point. Transparent specimens, I think we can fit all of them in this box. Let's find out. Okay. This is, I think, easier. But the question is the spinning. That's what's going to play a big role. You basically want the biggest piece that you can squeeze in place first. There's an X around each specimen, so something's got to play. So yeah, if I was going to do this, then there needs to be an extra X. I don't think there is an extra X. It's much more logical that something like that is gonna come into play. And this is kind of uniquely different enough that it's not super easy to figure out. Like this one probably has to be here. Come to think of it. Put that one there. Well, this is a nightmare. Because... Yes. Nope, I think I can actually solve this. Well, I thought that was going to turn out to make me have to redo all the rest of the puzzle. But nope. I just had to move one piece. Capsules, what do we need these for? Are we supposed to take them? I don't really like capsule pills. They have to be cherry flavored. Are you still taking children's cough syrup, are you? So, interesting. Different puzzle here. Maybe you have to mix them with something to give us a clue. These are pills I wouldn't want to take. Yeah. I guess maybe the idea is Eric is simply a stunted child in his level of craziness. Maybe they were trying to play more up on that. Like, that certainly would speak to the dolls, where Eric is shown as a baby. And it certainly would make sense why Junpei is all goth and dead-like. I guess Phi has like elf ears because maybe she's smart. Alright, I was thinking this would go in here. Okay, so computer is not on. And we need to mix the pills. And why would you mix the pills? Like, what thing would we use that we haven't used yet? No water coming from there. If it is supposed to be a color code combination, doesn't really make sense. Are we holding anything that can fit in there? Well, we'll try every item. Interesting, the knife fit. Analyze also on, I believe we were using the knife for the lever actually worked. Okay. Blade broke, now it's useless as a knife. Look what you did, damn it. How are we gonna cut the pig open now? I'm sorry, didn't mean to pull so hard. So there's another example of Q being super strong. And we don't have the knife as a weapon, and we don't have the knife handle. Okay. So, the analyzer at this point wants the mixed chemicals that we were struggling with earlier. So one more mixing. Hopefully this is the last time we have to interact with this. Orange, blue, white. Yay, they did it. Now they have a baby, or a very low polygon baby fetus. Yeah, really, really low polygon. Okay. And seems to be the idea that it's yellow bird, pink for a fish, white for a dragonfly, red for a flower, and blue for a human. Okay. So when we add this, can we now do something? Do we have to potentially remember the solution? Or do we have to put the colors in the specimen jars also? White for a dragonfly. Let's see. Okay. So it's not putting the color in, it's just using the color as an order. So let's move this here. That one is locked down. Wait a minute. How is that supposed to work then? We're supposed to do Roy G. Biv. Where would white come into that mix? At the beginning or at the end? This one is screwed down as your fixed point. That reset everything. White is 1. Fish is... I don't get it. Really don't get it. Okay. So the starting position is probably wrong. We'll probably need to change a couple things. Let's fail once and see if we get a hint. What should we do? Did you see the computer next to the analyzer? Maybe those symbols are hints. The symbol codes are the same as those, as the beakers. Yeah. So freaking what? Though. White was 1. Blue was 2. Yellow was 5. Red was 3. So it should be dragonfly, human, flower, then something else. Dragonfly, human, flower, then fish, then bird. That's the order. But that order is not possible in this. Dragonfly, first of all. We don't have anything like that. Fish, then flower, then human, then bird. Is that the solution? No. Human, bird, insect, plant. Aren't those symbols is the same color as the capsules we found? Nah, that's gotta be a coincidence. Oh, okay. So, I was thinking the other color puzzle. Obviously, this is not just because I'm exhausted mentally and being stupid. Part of it definitely is, but not all of this. They had a color puzzle before, and frankly, they've had 2 color puzzles in this room before. You really shouldn't have but 1 color puzzle in any escape room. That really is the only good reason to have multiple rooms instead of just having one giant escape room that would have been 40 hours to escape from. Which, yeah, that would be interesting, but it wouldn't really feel like an escape room at that point. You have to keep things small and simplistic and just not open up the doors to confusion. Okay. Looking at the items, the white is completely missing. And the pills are in the shape of numbers. So it is 1 for yellow, 2 for pink. Yellow, pink, blue, and then you can't change number 4 anyways, and then orange. Yellow, pink, blue, blank, orange. So then you look at this to compare that. Yellow is bird, and then fish, and then human, and then white, then dragonfly, and then flower. Bird, fish, human, dragonfly, or bug, flower. Combining, translating the same code over multiple times. Pretty annoying. Bird, fish. It's technically a bird, technically a fish, technically a human, technically an insect, technically a flower. They went out of their way certainly to pick things that aren't iconic of those kind of categories. That is exhausting. Derek pretending like he could figure it out, which I guess that is supposed to point more to his childishness than I really have been paying attention to. I just really have not been paying attention to Derek as a character at all. And certainly I've been paying more attention to Mira just because of her cleavage alone and her like attractive appearance than I have Derek. Derek physically is not an attractive looking guy, and so I've not caught anywhere as many of these non-voice lines of dialogue from him, and even when there is a cutscene he doesn't say much. A fingerprint authentication device. Do we have to prove our identities now? What if the exit opens if we do? Let's just try it out. I mean we've got nothing else to work with. Ow, that hurt. What the? I thought it just wanted a fingerprint. What is this? Was this some sort of trap? Damn it, I'm bleeding. That hurt. What was that sound? Maybe it means we passed the authentication. I look over there, the light by the sink is turned on. Okay, well, that implies to me we should go check out the sink. But did that cut everybody's finger, or did that just cut Derek's finger? So the power is on, so when we press this button, let's see if we can push it around and move it. Interesting. Is there anything else in this corner now? So you need to connect the two things. And this feels like this is going to be a horrific mix of effects. This time they're making Eric pick up the pig in formaldehyde. Honestly, the formaldehyde is gonna smell worse than the pig. And we can't pick up any of the broken glass to cut it open with. Can't gamma irradiate that. I wonder if for a second there I thought maybe this piece needed to go in between this piece, or this piece needed to go in between that piece. What else are we supposed to do? They won't touch that again. I don't have the knife. Okay, so the pig is in place now, but how do we cut it open? Thanks to someone, the knife's broken. I have moved the thing, so I'm not touching it again. Could you just chill, Eric? Let's look for something to replace the knife. Like the power plug might work if you get really desperate. Like using a power cord plug. This is irritating. Once again, we're looking for something, and I have no clue where it is. We still have capsules and we still have chemicals. If we wanted to try and mix everything together, but you could only do so much on that level. Yep, there's a drawer and now a scalpel. Yeah, there's really no reason to stretch out the puzzle room like this. I wonder if this means this is going to be a true ending of some sort. It probably kind of has to be. But by doing a true ending, they're making the puzzle room longer. Pig's all set. I have the scalpel, but where do I start cutting? Interesting that they're just going to let Q do it instead of Myra doing it. Or for crying out, here, give me the scalpel. There's a trick to it. Wow, so clean. Does your family own a farm, Myra? Something like that. Now, let's see what's inside this thing. So that really isn't revealing that Myra is the Heart Ripper.
An unfortunate creature.
Zero.
17 years ago, a woman died. Her chest carved open with a sharp object. Just like that.
Notice how Myra's not even blinking, really, at that,
Was alive.
at the story being told to her.
Still beating as the organ was crudely carved out of her.
And see, if you played the sequence before you knew Myra was the Heart Ripper, you just wouldn't realize how important the zoom in on her face really is.
The police arrested him before he was able to utilize the waiting vehicle to flee the scene. Instead, the genius surgeon climbed inside. He was heading to the hospital, a seriously ill patient awaiting his arrival for life-saving treatment. However, the taxi got into an accident before reaching its destination. It collided with a large truck. The resulting wreck was horrendous. Sadly, as a result of this accident, the driver and surgeon
So do all three of these people
lose the young boy
have a history?
surgery. Life is truly unfair.
Like, that story was slightly different. I should have
What is the
paid more
point of him
attention
telling us
to.
this story?
It's just some kind of act, right? Probably doesn't mean anything.
I'm not sure.
Now then, let's begin our game, shall we? The rules are as follows. The pig's stomach you cut open contained 3 syringes. Each of them is filled with a specific virus called Radical 6.
Radical 6.
This virus is special. It awakens a desire to kill oneself, among other things.
That sounds different from Reverie Syndrome.
As early as 10 minutes, or take up to 2 hours. And the host soon finds the urge to commit suicide irresistible. The mortality rate is 75%. Transmitted through liquids, it's highly contagious. Oh yes, I believe you located a set of documents during your search of this room. A set of files on FBR, the Fanatic Bio-R virus. The mortality rate of this virus is 100%.
Interesting.
Results in blood erupting from your body. Then death. An antagonistic relationship exists between Radical 6 and FBR. it would be cancelled out with the addition of FBR, and you are unaffected. Conversely, injecting Radical 6 into you after becoming infected with FBR will cause them to destroy each other and leave no adverse effects on you.
So a single virus is toxic, but using the other as a vaccination provides an antidote.
Now, here's an important piece of information for you. I am what you'd call a clairvoyant, one who knows the future.
What is he talking about?
If I had foreseen that you would all choose to inject Radical 6 at this moment, I would have made sure to coat FBR on the fingerprint authentication device for you. Meaning, you'd already be infected with the fanatic BioR virus.
That device over there?
Oh, I do remember feeling something when I touched it. Like a prick.
So we were all stabbed by a poison needle?
This is a mathematical puzzle.
I saw that you were not going to inject yourselves with Radical 6. Then I would be sure to leave the needle clean. That way, you would not become infected with fanatic BioR.
I don't
Wait,
remember
what?
the solution
What are
to
you
this
saying?
math puzzle.
I'll say it once more.
Most of these puzzles
Plan to inject
are just available
Radical 6.
on like several famous math puzzle
If you are not
YouTube
going to
channels.
inject yourselves,
Mathlogger, I think, is one of them, or TEDx Educational or TED Ed
you being safe
is another
is a
one.
foregone conclusion. There's no reason for you to worry about the situation. What will you do now? Inject yourselves with Radical 6, or refrain? It would be best to consider carefully. I will say that your decision is already known to me.
So wait,
Since I don't remember
we
the
even need
solution
to choose?
here,
Huh?
if what Zero
you're
told us
probably
is the
just
truth,
better off
then the outcome will be the same. If we
acting
inject ourselves
and
with
injecting
this Radical
yourself.
6, we're already infected with FBR. So they destroy each other and we're fine. And if we don't do it, that just means we weren't infected with FBR in the first place.
But what if it's a lie?
Huh?
He's
He didn't even
saying, what
think.
if he's lying about being psychic?
You didn't even think about
Well,
that.
if you think about it, the likelihood that he's lying is incredibly high.
So then, what do we do? What the hell do we do?
There's only Radical 6 in the drugs. Without knowing the answers, you just act. You just choose to act because you want to have control over your own fate and not leave it in the hands of someone else. Just on a moral stance. No math, no logic, nothing else in it other than that. You just act. Now the puzzle that I'm thinking of around this, I think the solution is something around the idea of poisoning yourself beforehand and then poisoning yourself a second time after the fact. But you can't really do that in this situation. So yeah, this again just feels like a coin flip. And there very well may just be a gate that unlocks later on that would explain why you would do this
Let's do it.
or why you wouldn't.
Why?
In the same way that the
Can you
dice
share your
roll,
reason?
After everything, the issue isn't if Zero can see the future or if he's lying. It's just like Eric said. If Zero does have that power, then it's the same either way. That means all we need to do is think about what happens if he doesn't. Our fate can go 4 different ways if that's the situation. If we are infected with FBR and we inject ourselves with Radical 6, or not. If we aren't infected with FBR and we inject ourselves with Radical 6, or not. The important thing we need to remember, though, is the mortality rates. Zero said the casualty rate is 75% for the Radical 6 virus. And we saw in the files that death is 100% confirmed for fanatic BioR. so we can use that to determine.
Oh, I didn't even think about that part.
It's clear which option is best, right?
I see. The probability that we're infected with FBR is 2 to 1, which means if we inject Radical 6, our survival rate is half of 125, 62.5%.
And if
I'm
we
glad they're
don't
explaining
inject it,
all of this.
then our chance is sitting at 50%.
Any objections?
I didn't know any of that. Didn't think of it at all.
You know what to do.
I'm mentally drained to even think about that.
Okay, here we go. Ready? And...
It's funny, you're injecting yourself in through the watch. Yeah.
So are we good? Did we do the right thing?
I guess we'll
The
see.
lab door opened afterwards, so we must have.
The
do
question,
you feel any different?
I guess, is if anybody's
not
gonna
really.
die or if
So, I guess.
we are gonna go further in the story or not.
Hey, Eric. I've thought this before, but
Q
look,
is being very
your laugh
weird
is kinda
anime.
strange.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess this is, well, sort of a bad habit I've had since I was a kid.
We may have
What do
unlocked
you mean?
something.
Issues at home, I
Unlocked a
guess.
gate.
Was your family difficult?
That's just it. We were completely normal.
That's a
A
lie.
kind mom, a clumsy dad, and an annoying little brother.
That is totally a lie.
Oh, dear. What's wrong?
I'm not sure. They've just been crying.
Hey, you two. Mind telling Mommy why you're crying?
Chris broke my toy!
No! It was your fault, Eric!
Chris, Eric, listen to me, okay? When painful or sad things happen, people get angry or cry because of them. But even at those times, I want you to never forget to smile.
This is
Smile.
incredibly
Yes.
bad advice
Smile.
that leads
No
to
matter
people
how painful things
being
get,
crazy.
As long as you can face it with a smile, happiness will come to you.
It's probably the kind of advice that
Strange.
Japanese parents might give to their
Really?
kids, bad
Yes,
Japanese parents.
Really.
Yep.
And that's not all. A smile can make
And I
everyone
haven't seen
all around
great
you
examples
happy
of Japanese parents actually being
You'll be happy too?
particularly good.
too. Of course.
And most Asian
Why don't
parents
you
are
two
over bearing
stop
and
home
over demanding
And
and
show Mommy your smile.
expect way too much from their
Okay.
kids,
Yeah!
which leaves them hopeless
Sure
and
are
emotionally
something.
stunted by the time they
What
get
about
out
me?
of their
Daddy
parents'
gets some
control.
smiles, too.
Oh dear. It looks like Daddy's lonely, you two.
This is
Let's
funny
all
that
give
this
him a whole lot
memory,
of smiles.
Okay.
it feels
Get over here for a
completely fake and unreal. But it could be a
You've
real
gotten big.
memory
Me too. Me too.
that
Okay.
they did have
Okay.
good family
Come at me.
memories,
I'm
and
ready.
then eventually the father or Eric killed the little brother. But it also would be very childish for
Mom always told us
somebody
to never forget
to
to
lie
smile.
about their
She'd
childhood
never hurt a bug.
and
Not
create
even
a
if line of ants
fantasy
crossed her
memory.
path. She was that kind and gentle.
Hmm.
She was incredible. And when we lost her, that's when Dad changed.
So I guess we are getting the true
Shut
story.
the hell up. Who said you could fucking cry? Oh, Jesus, Eric! Can't you even look after your shitty little brother?
I'm sorry. Forgive me. Please forgive me.
How many punch sound effects are they going to use?
Fucking kids. Hey, go find someone to get me beer.
Don't cry. Don't get mad. Better always smile, was what Dad liked to say. But unlike Mom, he was never not angry with us. Eventually, I figured out how to smile, regardless of what was going on. Just smiling day in and day out. No fun. Not happy. I'd be made fun of, or yelled at. And no matter the pain, no matter how bad
It's
it
funny
was,
how
I never
Eric's
raised my
fake
voice.
smile
I just
is the
kept
smile
smiling.
that Maria's
I didn't
locked
stop,
onto.
even after Dad fell ill and died. So I guess the two smiles,
There's the
one
box.
taught by my mom,
So
and one
obviously
forced by my
they
dad,
haven't done anything with that
got
yet.
kind of mixed up, and the result is what I pasted on my face.
Eric, she's...
I've never talked to anyone about all of this before, but Mira, will you still love me, even with me being like this?
How dumb can you get?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even have to ask, did I?
Eric, thanks for sharing that.
It wasn't like I did it for you or anything. It just sort of came out, that's all.
Yeah, still, thanks.
To tell the truth, I just didn't want to end up like my father. So I forced my mouth to keep smiling through everything. But
It's funny
no
how
use.
Mira said, "How dumb
The
can
worst
you
part
get?"
of me still came to the front
Because
after we got trapped here.
She's just making
Pushed
fun
all
of
that on
him,
you too.
and that he doesn't
worry
realize
about it.
she can't love
I'm
him.
alright.
Doesn't even know what
Okay.
love is.
So, you never mentioned you had a younger brother.
It's also kind of funny how
About your age, more or less.
the
What? We're the same age? Oh, maybe we could be friends. Would it be okay if I met him after we get out?
Well. Anyway, sorry I turned the mood dark.
yeah, it's funny that Q is basically
Turn
observing
the
two
mood.
crazy
Your jokes always
humans
crack me up, Eric.
while not really having any
Huh?
memories or personality himself herself.
I mean, to think that was dark. You really have a sense for these things. Don't worry, listening to it was a lot of fun.
Wait a minute. What makes you think that was all a joke?
Uh-huh.
It was such a sad story. He just told us he's been holding in this painful past the whole time. How is that a joke?
Oh, I just didn't think to make a mistake like that.
A mistake?
I'm so sorry. I've always been clumsy. It's at times like these that I don't even know how to look, you know?
Clumsy?
Hey, Eric.
She's just gonna kill him and Q.
Can you tell me?
Mira.
Yep. And so Q is covering her eyes
What?
because he thought they were gonna kiss.
No. Mira? Why did you...
How many people were dead? It's been so long since the announcement. Was it 4?
What's wrong with you, Mira? Stop!
They spent
Stop
extra
this.
effort there to have her boobs bounce back and forth as she's walking. They barely animate any character walking in the game at all. They'll stand in one place almost always.
No!
So pretty much any of the timelines in which you get to see Mira pretty well, you get revealed that she's a killer, which that's probably fairly smart in the sense that you don't want to have a bunch of storylines in which you grow to love Mira just to have it reveal that she is that psychopath killer. Right. And that just straight up locks into that, which maybe at that point would let the story go further this way, but I don't think there ever was a lock there. And it doesn't really unlock anything else. So let's just jump back here then and not inject it and see what the ending on that is.
Zero.
And absolutely this would have been really shocking if this was the first sequence in which you saw that, and it would make a lot of sense to see the sequence before I saw the other sequence that revealed she was the Heart Ripper killer. But yeah, all of this really is telling me is that I really would have preferred if this story was just being told in a chronological order. Like it's not a better presentation method to break it up like this. So now we'll decide not to inject and see what happens then. We're still not really making any progress to figuring out who Q is.
Maybe we shouldn't.
And by the way, Eric said his little brother was about Q's age, but does that mean when he died years ago?
Or if he's lying. It's just like Eric said. If Zero does have that power, then it's the same either way. That means all we need to do is think about what happens if he doesn't have powers.
It's the exact same lines of dialogue here.
The important thing to determine is if we're actually infected with FBR.
So they're basically just going to...
No. In fact, a virus called Fanatic Bio R existing in the first place is very suspicious.
Radical 6 sounds just as fantastical.
No. There's no doubt that Radical 6 is real. I've heard of it before. Well, it could be that Zero wants us to become infected with Radical 6. But instead of doing it himself, for some reason he's unable to.
So he needs us to do it ourselves.
I thought for a second there he was going to explain the numbers in such a way as to why that wasn't the right... how the odds would change if you just calculated it different
Wait,
in a different way.
Hey, Mira! What are you doing?
So she's taking 1 vial, not 3. And she's going to use that as the murder weapon, I think, instead of the scalpel.
We must have been right not to inject it. I still feel okay, and more importantly, the door opened for us.
There's still another possibility, you know. That Zero really does have the ability to see the future.
If it's true, then we would have been right if we had injected the needles too.
Hey, did you tell the truth earlier?
About what?
About Radical 6 being real.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know about it?
Well, I'm not sure.
Interesting. He kind of knows everything.
I know what I know, okay? I can't help that.
But he's never heard of FBR.
Tell us more about this Radical 6 virus.
More. I'm not even sure where to start.
How about its name?
Oh, that's easy. Aside from triggering intense suicidal impulses, Radical 6 causes the infected's thought process to reduce by 1√6. Therefore, when 1 second passes for them, the world has gone through √6 seconds, or roughly 2.45 seconds. There is also the word radical. Aside from meaning things like extreme, it can also
Q
refer
seems
to a radical root.
Only be able to answer questions
so
when
that's
asked.
Why it's Radical 6.
But is it really possible for thought speed to be slowed down like that?
Yep.
We know
The
that
infected,
it can. It
through
happened
changes
throughout
in
the
DNA
entirety of the
methylation
second
and
game.
histonomodification, gain epigenetic mutations in the control mechanisms of their genetic expressions.
Wait! Could you maybe simplify that, please?
Oh, the body's composition changes as a genetic switch is flipped, more or less.
A genetic...
Switch?
Let's try this. A common scientific thought until now was that parental characteristics didn't transfer. Recent research has changed that. We now know that they
We're just
can
looking
be
at the dog's
by
butt here.
flipping certain genetic switches. Well, regardless of what kind of experiences the parents had to go through, their DNA blueprints won't change. But within that expansive DNA coding,
DNA
the
does
question
change
of
if you
what
do
should
certain
be
things.
read seems
like
to change based
crack,
on experience. The change
mushrooms
becomes especially
potentially,
apparent when the parents'
acid.
lives are in danger.
Acid, I know, changes
Like
DNA. Maybe crack
if someone
doesn't.
was trapped in a shelter and forced to
Radiation.
risk their life.
So, if Eric and I did the horizontal tango right now, the baby might end up psychic.
What?
Anyway, so if Radical 6 really does flip the genetic switch... Hey, are you listening?
Eric is flipping out
Yeah.
on her,
So
suggesting
you're
them
basically saying this
sleeping.
Radical 6 virus is super dangerous, right?
Yes, there's no doubt it is. So, Zero said earlier that Radical 6 transmits through bodily fluids and is highly infectious. If someone infected with the virus was to go outside, then mankind, 6 billion people, will die.
6 billion?
So does one of the 9 characters in this game, are they at some point infected with Radical 6?
Now announcing the current casualties.
I guess maybe that one of them does.
Carlos, Akane, Junpei.
She
These
chooses
3 are now deceased.
not to kill
As a
people
result, 3
so
expresses will
far.
be revealed. Fire, crash, 5. That is all.
And those are all codes we've heard before, but not 6 codes, and not enough codes.
What the hell? C-Team is dead?
It's obviously because of the vote
The vote?
at 13:30.
Then... But wait, did everyone from C-Team really die? We haven't seen their corpses or anything. They might still be alive.
No, they're dead. I'm sure of it.
Why?
Because
So, it looks like when they get executed, they get choked.
He's
So,
right. I don't think they're alive.
maybe we're supposed to
You too, Mira?
understand that the person who killed Mira would have been Zero, but I don't see
What do you
why
think,
Mira
old man?
would be choked
C-Team's gotta be alive, right?
as part of Q Team,
What are you
and
doing,
the
Eric?
other 2 wouldn't be
He's
able
not
to.
going to answer you.
Hey, you don't know. Maybe he...
can speak?
It would be
it's
funny if
time
the
for
dog
you to
could
sleep.
speak.
0.
When next you wake, know you will have no memory of these past 90 minutes.
So maybe she's going to put the
Pleasant dreams.
Radical 6 in the dog's necklace, and that's how the Radical 6 escapes and kills everybody in the world. Okay, well, all of Radical 6 sections are cleared. Which, yeah. We were here, and we saw the cutscenes here, and then you see the blue teams, and that has unlocked this as new, it looks like, so we can go further down the line, even though it's not marked quite as a memory fragment. Alright, well, what I'm going to say is let's end it here, and we'll start the next episode figuring out where this timeline concludes. That way I don't have to pause the recording and take another bathroom break and break it up in that way. Plus, we've been going long enough anyways. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.